Just look right at the camera and give us your name.
Brooks Koepka.
Let's turn the clock ahead 5-10 years. Where do you see yourself?
A winner on the PGA Tour.
Thank you very much.
Get a major in 5 to 10 years. That would be nice. Get a couple of them. Hopefully, during that time, I rack up some wins, and you know, you never know what can happen.
All right, so let's turn the clock ahead 5-10 years. Where do you see yourself?
A winner on the PGA Tour. You know, hopefully compete in majors, get a major, get a couple of them.
So when you see that, you kind of called your shot a little bit there. What do you think of when you see that?
That's funny looking back. Man, I had no idea what I was doing with my hair.
Even before he was a rookie on the PGA Tour, bad hair or not, Brooks Koepka might have been the only one that could have guessed what turn his career and life would have taken.
You always got to have belief in yourself, and I think that's one thing I've always had. I actually think I've underachieved. I'll put it the other way. I feel like, you know, very easily could be 6 majors, and there's a lot of second places in there. So I can only imagine, you know, I don't know, probably 12 to 14 wins.
To understand Brooks' unwavering mindset, you have to go back to the beginning and his unlikely journey to the PGA Tour.
We're at Oklahoma Golf Course. This actually is the first municipal facility that Palm Beach County invested in. I started the Junior Golf Foundation. Our mission was to provide affordable golf programming and tournaments and stuff for the youth and the families here in South Florida. I still remember either Bob was dropping them off or Denise was dropping them off at 8 o'clock on their way to work, and this was there at home for hours upon hours.
It was me and my brother, and that was kind of how it always was every summer, dropping us off early in the morning and picking us up late at night. I wish you could do it today.
In the golf opulence that is South Florida, Okeechobee Golf Course was just the opposite. The local muni with none of the prestige or flash of the private courses that surround it. And for a young Brooks Koepka, the perfect scenario to give him his edge.
I never got anything handed to me. Grew up, everything always seemed to be very hard. Whether it was, you know, I couldn't go play golf tournaments. You know, we didn't have enough money. Couldn't afford basically a coach. Couldn't do these things.
Golf was a happy place for him, and he found a haven of friends and those that might have been better than him at that time, but he became motivated to excel.
Koepka was never a standout junior player. In fact, he rarely won. But the now famous Koepka swagger was slowly forming, despite his lack of trophies.
People were always in awe of his ability and his power and his swing speed. But when he was younger, he never was the kid who was winning every tournament. He was the kid who always came in 10th or 5th or 3rd. I had a lot of second-place trophies in the house.
He wasn't your average kid. He had an incredible work ethic. He was always hitting balls, always wanting to play golf. But he had the shy kind of demeanor where you were around him, you were just still wondering, is this guy really listening? But he was taking notes in his mind and processing what you were telling him.
I wasn't the it kid, I wasn't the best. And when you're not that, I guess you really want to win. You always want to be something you can't be, right?
Beauty. Okay.
Let's pause the story for a second. Take a breath. Because there's someone who needs to be introduced who unknowingly had a huge influence on Brooks' career.
What does the name Kenny Leach mean to you?
He kicked my butt for the longest time, so we got to maybe college. I'd say for a solid 10 years, he was doing some hurting on me. He handed it to me pretty much every time.
I tried to win everything. We both had the same thoughts. It was just I was kind of succeeding a little bit more than he was. It's not like he was, oh man, I can never beat this guy. He was not that guy. For Brooks, I think it was good. And how he perceived it and how he took it, it's different with every case, and I'd say in Brooks, it might have helped him. Maybe, who knows?
We were driving home after one of the early matches, and he splurted out from the back seat that in about 4 years he was going to drop out of school in the 10th grade and turn pro. He always went through life with one option, and that was to be a professional golfer. And I always told him, it's hard going through life with only one option. And he said, Dad, I can't have an option B, because if I have an option B, I won't work hard enough and achieve what I want. And that's his sole focus, was to be on the PGA Tour, and he did it.
Soon, Brooks would begin to match the level of his game to his youthful confidence. He was a 4-time All-American at Florida State University, winning 3 times his senior season. He would turn pro in 2012 and found his way to the Challenge Tour in Europe. Yet another unconventional turn on his path to greatness.
It was a real growing experience for me. I kind of figured out who I was. Traveling Europe, got to grow as a person. You see all these places you read about in the history books.
I've seen these tuk-tuks, and I've wanted to take a ride in them. So we got one. We're gonna take a ride, see how it is. We're gonna risk, our lives here in traffic.
It's different, when you're all on your own. I didn't know anybody, didn't speak any of these languages, the countries we were going to. I had to figure it out kind of on the fly.
This is crazy. It's unbelievable.
He was there by himself. He had nothing but golf. So he just kind of soaked it in, and I think it matured him very quickly. Learned how to travel and be in strange places and be uncomfortable and be okay with being uncomfortable.
It was a struggle, but it wasn't going to be negative unless he allowed those off-course influences to work negatively in his mind, and he found a way through that. In the end, I think going and traveling around Europe was a great thing for him.
That's not the ideal situation when you think you're a lot better than you are, or when you know deep down. I go over there, you battle for 2 years, and then come over here, and everything was earned, which I kind of like.
He would win 3 times on the European Challenge Tour in 2013 and add a European Tour win and Rookie of the Year honors in 2014. Koepka also earning enough FedEx Cup points as a non-PGA Tour member to get his card for the 2014-15 PGA Tour season. His transition was almost complete. The scrawny Muni kid was now a world-traveling winner on a professional level. The next step was obvious, and Koepka knew what he needed to do to help him get there.
Good. Load and explode. 3. All the way down. 2. Come on. 1 more. Good work. All right. Good. 2. Good.
He was like a number 2 pencil when I know him. He was very skinny, very thin.
Good. Good. 4. Nice.
But he had a lot of fast club head speed. And I thought, geez, if we get any meat on you and you get a little bulk, I think you could really hit this ball pretty far. And then all of a sudden, I really feel like he matured and grew into his body even more. And that's why the size came from.
Push it all the way through.
He was never anything big or brawny or outrageous. But now, when he walks and I stand in the crowd and you hear people making these comments, oh my gosh, look at how big he is, look at the way he looks. He just doesn't look like my dad's kind of golfers.
His size and stature in the game continued to grow. First, a win at the 2015 Waste Management Phoenix Open.
And welcome to the winner's circle, Brooks Koepka. And dare I say, with many more to come.
Followed by one of the most prolific stretches in golf history. He would win 6 more times in just under 3 years.
Because he's the best in the game.
Including back-to-back U.S. Open championships in 2017 and 2018. and back-to-back PGA championships in 2018 and 19.
It's an incredible journey, something I don't even think I dreamed of.
Just interesting.
I got a little something for you here.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
What a great
Everything
year
good?
you've had.
Yeah, thank you
Great
very
year.
much. I
Congratulations.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna get this thing's too heavy for me. I have to send it to you.
Perfect, I love that. Thank you, I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This man that is physically, technically, and mentally stronger than we've witnessed for a long time.
Touches up in this zone of his and just sort of unfazed. You know, his game's, he's really strong. He hits it long off the tee, but you know, at the end of the day, he gets the ball in the hole. He sort of walks through the fire.
He literally has the mentality that he wants to step on your throat. He doesn't care, and that's a huge deal.
He's got a certain swag to him when you watch him play. You know, he's very confident when he plays and steps over a golf ball.
You look at him, he's kind of built perfectly to be a dominant golfer. Hits it long, no weaknesses, and not scared. Pretty ideal when you start pulling up wanting to be one of the best in the game.
The boy with so much untapped potential, finally fulfilling it. The once shy junior, now an unspoken alpha. The kid with the second-place trophies, on top of the golfing world. There are many paths to greatness.
I've always had to work for everything, so I take enjoyment out of that is proving people wrong. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride for sure.
What's so great about Brooks is he knows where he came from. He had just the right formula, and the right formula of hard work, tenacity, and a mental toughness, and those three was perfect cocktail for him to do what he's done.
I think he's matured a lot, and he's able to zero in and focus on the task at hand, and I think he represents the game the right way.
When you look at a friend excel at that level and know that you had some bit of something in their life, that's really special. It was cool to be in the first stages of that, you know, it's like, it's part of the roots, which is really cool.
A lot of what moves him, you can't teach it. It's not something you can learn. It's almost like an innate quality that just had to blossom. He's a great kid. He's my little boo-boo. Always will be.
Ask him now where he sees himself in the next 10 years.
10 majors, probably, I don't know, 25 wins, something like that.
Don't bet against him.